Please like this video and subscribe to the channel.
Greetings, family, and welcome back to Raising the Vibe. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. Today, I want to talk about something that is absolutely and totally astonishing to me. The fact that illegal immigrants now feel so entitled to entrance in the United States of America that they have broken through a barrier and rushed past the Texas National Guard in an attempt to get into our country. It's just astonishing to me. But then you have to look at what's going on with these illegal immigrants in our country, and maybe we can understand why they are so determined to gain access to our country. Now, before we get into it, as always, I'm going to ask you, if you're not already a part of the Raising the Vibe family, to please subscribe to the channel and to hit the notification bell if you want to be made aware every time I upload a new video. And also, if you find this video informative, please click that thumbs up button. Now, based on what we all know, once these illegal immigrants, who really have to be classified as criminals because it's a crime to illegally enter our country. So if you're rushing across borders, sneaking across borders, or in any other way illegally gaining entrance into our country, automatically that makes you a criminal, someone who has committed a crime in this country. However, the governments, plural, in America, and by governments, I'm referring to the federal government and the governments of the various states, are not treating these illegal immigrants as criminals. Instead, they're putting them up in hotels, as you can see from the clips here. Many governments are allowing illegal immigrants to obtain driver's licenses. Now, this really ticks me off because many of the states in our country are issuing what are called real IDs, which require American citizens to report to motor vehicle departments with their passports or their birth certificates and their social security cards. But as you can see from this next clip, they're allowing illegal immigrants to obtain driver's licenses without any of those documents. And as that clip shows us, 19 states and the District of Columbia are allowing illegal immigrants to obtain driver's licenses. And those states include California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, and Washington, in addition to the District of Columbia. But again, we as citizens have to obtain real IDs showing all of this documentation and jumping through all of these hoops, but illegal immigrants can get a driver's license. We see that from this clip here that they can get cell phones. Now, the government wants us to believe that these cell phones are only being used to track illegal immigrants, but how idiotic is that? If the only thing the cell phone can do is track a person who has illegally entered into our country, why would they not just toss the phone? The only way the phone is useful is if they can make calls or receive calls or do something with it. Either way, you are, as a government, wasting our taxpayer money. You're either giving valuable electronic items to people who aren't citizens in our country, or you're giving them worthless items that they're just going to toss because if they're bold enough to come into the country illegally, certainly they're bold enough to toss a cell phone that is designed only to track them without providing them with any benefits. Apparently, illegal immigrants can also carry a gun in our country, as a federal judge has recently ruled, and you can see from the clip here. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail on that on this particular video because I fully intend to take a look at that decision and to go through it because I can't imagine how that judge reached that conclusion. But as it stands now, they can also carry a gun, and they're entitled to receive all of the social welfare benefits that many Americans cannot qualify for. Take a look at this article here. Now, that article shows the results of a study that analyzed data demonstrating who is receiving the social welfare benefits in this country. And as you can see from that article, it was found that immigrants are getting those services more than US born citizens. Okay. So the first thing they found was that 54% of immigrant led households are getting social welfare benefits as compared to 39% of American citizen led households. They showed that immigrants are receiving more benefits under our food programs, and they showed that the numbers were 36% for immigrants versus 25% for American citizens. They showed that more immigrants are receiving Medicaid. That is medical health insurance for which you don't even have to pay premiums or copays. And again, it was 37% for immigrants versus 25% for American citizen-led households, which is really a problem because we have to pay extensive premiums for our insurance. We have to pay copays when we go get medical treatment. Often after the treatment has been, after you've paid your copay and received the treatment, you'll get a bill in the mail. But here we have people not even born here, not even of this system, just getting what essentially is free healthcare. And they're also qualifying for money in the form of welfare payments. And in my humble opinion, that's absolutely outrageous. But when you look at the picture of all these things that immigrants are getting when they get to this country, there's no wonder they're determined to get here regardless of what barriers we put up, what guards we put at the border. This is for them the land of milk and honey, in my opinion, off the back of American taxpayers who are paying for all these benefits but can't even obtain them themselves. You have to be practically impoverished to get any help from this government. So if you're a gainfully employed American citizen who can afford basic housing and a car and basic clothing and food, you're not going to get any help from the government. Instead, the money that you work for, that taxes are being taken from, that tax money is going to be used to fund people who are not even from this country. We have a problem. We knew already that our borders were out of control, that we have lost control of our borders. It is one thing for them to sneak over and come in through this current administration's lax policies that are so-called processing them and allowing them into the country while they're being processed. But it is a whole nother story for immigrants to feel so entitled to come into our country that they are rushing the border, attempting to press into our country despite the presence of the Texas National Guard. And be clear, that is a state National Guard, because the federal government is doing little to nothing to keep all of these illegal immigrants out of our country. And I am specifically calling them illegal immigrants because that's what they are. All of this language, politically correct language, where they're being called migrant. They're not a migrant. A migrant is someone in this country who is migrating from one area to another. An immigrant is someone who comes from outside of our country into our country, and that's absolutely and exactly what they are. I just think that the situation has for a very long time been out of control. The bottom line of this video is that illegal immigrants now feel so entitled to come into our country that they think that they can overpower guardsmen, militia, National Guardsmen that are at the border in order to enter. And when we look at the array of benefits that they are being provided at the cost of the United States citizens who work and contribute to taxes, but at absolutely no cost to them, it's no surprise that they're so determined to get here. That's my opinion. What's your opinion, family? As always, until the next video, peace and love and light.